Your mental health and your mental illness is your responsibility. It's not the rest of the world's responsibility. Hey guys, it's me from the future. So I'm very aware that this is kind of an outdated topic. I filmed this video a long time ago, had it mostly edited a long time ago, and then, you know, life. Cassidy had her birthday, she turned 2, yay. I went to visit my parents, then I had the fall collection on my Etsy shop launch, and yeah, I just never finished this video. But I still think what I had to say in it is important, so I thought I would release it anyway. So I just filmed this really quick. I'm going to tack it on to the beginning of the video, and here's the rest of the video. Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome to this week's video. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you haven't. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about other YouTubers, which is not something I really do, except for that one video where I talked about my favorite YouTubers, and I'll link it up here if you want to watch it. It's a very old video, but anyway, this is not a tea video if that's what you're looking for. I don't have any extra information. I have very little information compared to most on this whole situation, but I've seen enough and I just want to share my thoughts. Apologies in advance if you hear a cat meowing in the background. I will try and cut her out as much as possible. Alright, so let's get started. So I don't really follow Gabbie, Hanna, or any of the other people involved in this whole situation, but stuff about it started showing up in my newsfeed, especially because I do talk about mental health. I've seen therapists reacting to everything that's been going on, and what really made me learn about what exactly was happening was watching Observe. He does body language analysis, so he'll watch videos and sort of tell you what he sees while watching people. So that's sort of what made me learn about what's going on here. I saw his video where he was talking about Gabbie Hanna's video. So hers was actually the first one I saw. I saw him go through, talk about what his thoughts are on body language and whatnot, and watching her video, I really wanted to be on her side at first. I mean, I'll be honest, I was very ignorant to this whole thing, but I really wanted to be on her side because at first she was talking about how they were begging her to be on this show, and then as she spoke more, I was thinking, why were they begging her to be on this show unless they were literally willing to cater to her every whim? Which is still, I mean, she shouldn't be expecting that, but, you know, if you're going to beg someone to be on the show, you should definitely do what you can to make them want to stay, basically. But then finding out and hearing pretty much everyone else's side, I realized that wasn't exactly the case. I'm going to preface everything also by saying I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not here to put a diagnosis on her. Even if I were a mental health professional, that would not be appropriate. No one should be diagnosing someone based on videos over the internet. You can have opinions, you can make guesses, but under no circumstances should anyone say this person is fill in the mental illness blank here, you know? That's sort of a disclaimer I wanted to make. I apologize about the lighting. The sun is going under a cloud right now. Before I get really into it, if you saw my last video talking about why I stayed on my antidepressants during pregnancy, you'll see I had a big vase of flowers and I was cutting flowers out and putting them in this silica gel. And I said maybe in my next video I'll film myself pulling them all out. So that's what I'm going to do. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to put them all in the shadow box and preserve them. They were from a bouquet that my husband got me on our 5th anniversary. So anyway, as I was watching Observe's video going through Gabbie Hanna's video, one thing I noticed her doing, and this is the thing I wanted to talk about, is putting a lot of the blame on her ADHD. Now that's something I do not have that I'm aware of. I don't think I do, but I know a lot of people are discovering that they do have that, and it's sort of answering a lot of questions for them. It's not something I have, but it's certainly something I can understand and being compassionate about. And I'm all for being understanding of mental health issues and being compassionate, understanding why someone may be acting the way that they are and why someone might be saying the things that they're saying, and just with an understanding that this person might be struggling at this current time. But I am not okay with people using their mental health issue as a crutch. It's not an excuse to be horrible to people. While she was talking, she kept putting up screenshots of like Wikipedia descriptions of ways that ADHD can, affect people from different situations and scenarios. Like she was talking about the costume, how it was uncomfortable and itching her, and that's something that can be very challenging for someone who has ADHD. And I totally get that. The thing is, your mental health and your mental illness is your responsibility. It's not the rest of the world's responsibility. It is not anyone else's problem that I have depression but my own. I want people to be compassionate towards me and understanding towards me, but it's still my responsibility to do what I can to manage it. So for me, that is taking my medication, and that is avoiding things that can be very triggering for me, doing my other coping mechanisms. So in her situation, knowing that the way the clothing feels is very, very important for her because of how she knows that she is and how she knew that it would affect her, it would be very important for her for the clothes to fit properly and not be irritating. Therefore, it was her responsibility to go to all 3 of her fittings. She only went to 1, which is not something she said in her video, and something that when I found out later, it brought me even less to her side, because I was trying to stay on her side as much as possible. Like, I don't know too much about her. I know there's been a lot of controversy around her in the past, but as someone who also manages mental health issues, I wanted to be on her side, and just the more I found out, the more I just couldn't do it. Because going to those 3 fittings would have been what solved that problem that she had. She wouldn't have had this problem if she went to those fittings, because she could have aired her concerns at that time. Now, the other thing she spoke about was the food. That was actually the big thing. And with that, the issue was that she said there was no healthy food there. Now, in the footage I've seen from some of the other people, it appears that there was healthy food there. It also sounds like someone made some special trips to get specific food for her, and then she didn't eat it. I'm not here to say who's right and who's wrong in this situation, but again, that is her responsibility, in that if she can't eat certain foods and she doesn't tell them in an official way, then it's her responsibility. The thing is, they asked everyone, all of the cast, to fill out a form saying what they would like for food, what the restrictions were, and all this stuff. In Gabbie's video, she showed screenshots of text messages between her and I don't know who, someone involved in it, explaining everything she wanted and needed for food. But she didn't fill out the official form. And the thing is, Gabbie doesn't seem to quite comprehend the fact that there is a process to keep them organized, because there are so many more people on this set than just her. So they can't be digging through old text messages that get buried after a certain amount of other talking to see what every individual person wants. There's a reason there's the forms. she spoke about part of the reason she behaved the way she did was because she was hungry. The thing is, if you know that being hungry turns you into a horrible person, then you know what? Go buy yourself some food. Make sure you bring food. And I get that you're expecting that it's provided there, but if it's not, I mean, you're still able to move and get off your butt and go get food, and then talk to someone about it later and say, hey, look, I was expecting this food. It wasn't there. I had to go purchase my own. Can I please be reimbursed for it? Or, come to some sort of agreement or reconciliation over it. But it's still your responsibility to take care of yourself if you don't feel anyone else is. Because, again, everyone involved all had to be taken care of, not just you. I don't know why I put so many of these little delicate purple flowers in here, because they did not hold up well. So her using her ADHD as an excuse for why she behaved the way she did is very hurtful and damaging to the community of people with ADHD, as well as people who just have any other mental illness. Because it can lead someone who's not as aware of how widespread mental health issues are and how common ADHD is and stuff. Seeing your video, they might think, ooh, having someone at this job who has ADHD, it's a lot of extra work. And if you don't put in the extra work, man, they're horrible to you. Maybe I won't hire someone with ADHD. No one should be discriminating against someone with a mental illness, but they still do. And a video like this will keep it happening. So personally, I believe that making this all about her mental health issues and not at all taking personal responsibility, like genuine personal responsibility, it's harmful. It's really dangerous to the community. And I really appreciate the other people involved, the other people who've made videos, Joey and Daniel. When they made videos, one of them did say that he also lives with ADHD, and you can see the way he presents himself and the way he behaved, you can see that he's perfectly capable. So I want to remind everyone out there that just because this one person behaved this way and is saying it's because of her ADHD, doesn't mean anything about ADHD. Okay, this is one person. Everyone is different. Every person with the same diagnosis is different. So don't shy away from someone who has ADHD or any other mental issue, because some of us are wonderful, some of us are mediocre, some of us are horrible, just like anyone who doesn't have a mental health issue. It's so upsetting to see someone really, really lean on their mental health issues. I've dealt with that in my personal life. I've had people be horrible to me and have said, well, you have depression and anxiety, you should understand why I'm like this. And I'm thinking, no, okay? You still hurt me. You still hurt people, Gabbie. It doesn't, like, what made you do it doesn't matter to them. You still hurt them. And it's just, it reminds me of an old building I used to live in. There was a woman in, I don't know if it was her apartment or her boyfriend's apartment or if they lived together, what the deal was, but she was there a lot. She had bipolar disorder, and her and him would get into screaming matches in the middle of the day when I'm trying to work from home, in the middle of the night when everyone's trying to sleep. People 3 floors away would hear her. It was mostly her screaming, and him trying to calm her down, but also being really bad at it. Like, it was a mess. And while I could sympathize with the fact that she is clearly having a hard time and clearly needs some help, it doesn't change the fact that I was still being woken up in the middle of the night. I was still on the phone with clients and having them hear this and go, what is going on at your house? And I'd have to explain, oh no, that's my neighbor. I don't live in a bad neighborhood, I swear. But it was affecting me, and just like it was affecting so many other neighbors. So while I can sympathize with her, and I know that the reason for her behavior was because of her bipolar disorder, her using that and like anytime someone from management would go there and say, hey, we've gotten a lot of complaints, their initial response would be, well, she's bipolar, so don't worry about it. You still have to manage yourself. I mean, the occasional bad moment, fine, you know what, I can forgive that, everyone can forgive that, we all have bad days. We all have days where we don't act like we should and like we would want to. This was constant. And it sounds like with Gabbie it was also constant. It wasn't just a bad moment. It was a series of bad moments that could have been prevented had she been doing what she needed to do to take care of herself. And I don't know, the fact that she lied so much about how things went down, just, it can also hurt the stigma. It can make people feel like someone who has any other mental illness. It can also make you think that they might be liars too. But I promise you out there, lying is not a mental health issue thing. Lying is just a liar thing. Some people are liars. Some people do, and I'm not saying that this is the case with Gabbie. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I am not one to say. No one is. Maybe she really and truly believed the things she was saying. Maybe she really and truly believed that there wasn't food around, or really believed that, you know, people weren't coming to get her for the interviews. I don't know. She could really be believing the things that she's saying and the things that she's lying about. That would be a delusion. And I guess that's possible. But I don't know. It's just hard to say. It's just, with how public this is and with how much Gabbie has sort of made a name for herself in the mental health community, having her doing something like this is really damaging. And I just feel like the community as a whole of people with mental illnesses, we're a little hurt by it. We want to be on her side, at least I do. I want to be on her side. But once her story started falling apart, once she started blaming her mental health issues on this, I couldn't support it anymore. I couldn't be on her side. I just couldn't do it. And I'm just very hurt that someone would do this. Someone would use their mental health issues as the reason that they're being a horrible person. Too many people are going to think that people with mental illnesses are going to behave poorly because of this. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say. I honestly didn't plan this video out. The next video I wanted to do was going to be a reaction video to something, but I wanted to do this because of my last video, so I couldn't be doing a reaction while also working on this. And I didn't want to do a long video because I could only pull this stuff out. I can't glue it into a frame. I don't know if I'm going to glue it into a frame, like glue them all into a frame on video, because that's a lot of extra concentration, but I'll post a picture of it on my Instagram once I'm finally done it. The recording ended because my camera time's out at half an hour. Oops. I don't know where it stopped, but I just pulled out this guy. Anyway, yeah, that's all I was going to really talk about today. I don't have too much to say. Like I said, I haven't watched really any of Gabbie's videos. I didn't even watch the show that she was on that is the whole thing because I don't have YouTube Premium. But I just, I like watching Observe. The body language analysis is kind of interesting to me. And when I saw her video, I had to say something because I was so concerned and so disappointed, I guess, because I always saw her as a mental health advocate. and now I can't see her that way, and I just wanted to talk about it. Personally, how am I doing? I'm having a bad mental health week, I'm not gonna lie. I almost talked about that today instead, but I don't feel like getting into some of it because some of it involves other people that I don't feel like starting drama with, because I don't really enjoy drama. That's why I don't really pay too much attention when there's drama between YouTubers, because I mean, I know it's one good way to get views, and to be perfectly honest with y'all, yeah, putting Gabbie Hanna's name in this title of this video might get me some more views, sue me. But also I really just was so bothered by it, and I had to say something. But yeah, I'm gonna finish seeing what else is in here. So far, this is what I've pulled out of there. I guess I'm gonna call it quits for this video for today. Please just remember that Gabbie Hanna's problems are Gabbie Hanna's problems. They're not ADHD's problems. So if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. If you like the idea of me talking about YouTubers, let me know. It's not really, I'm not a tea channel, I don't want to be. I want to talk about mental health, but if there's any other issue going around that you think I should talk about, like I did cover Meghan Markle a little while back and why some of the things Piers Morgan was saying was really stupid, I'll link that up here too. But yeah, if there's anything else that you think I should talk about other people and things that they've said that are regarding to mental health or motherhood, let me know in the comments, and yeah, I hope to keep creating videos that you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!